Okay, so welcome back everyone. So this is the next video in our little series here. We've worked with the text on the last video after setting up the guides in the first, and in this video we're going to start to add some images. This should be a nice and quick and short one. I'm going to show you how to use stock images. Obviously if you're doing this for coursework or something like that, you're going to have your own images to work with, but for now we're just going to work with some stock images. So the stock menu is hidden over here in Pages. You go across there, look, and there's the one called stock. So first of all we're going to search on Pixabay. You've got two options here. You've got Pixabay or Pexels. Pixabay actually lets you search for vectors as well. So we're going to search for a barcode, and we're going to click OK. And it may take a minute depending on your connection. So I'm going to drop in this barcode here. Again, when you first choose a image and you first use this, it may end up giving you like a warning of understand this isn't from Affinity. It's not a problem, just click OK, and then you can click and drop it in. Now in terms of size, I'm going to roughly make mine about the width of one of our grid spaces there. I'm going to hide it down the bottom here, and again, because my price isn't something I'm proud of, it's not something I want to shout about, I'm going to stick that down there as well. Okay, so that shows you how to import that one there. Now the other type, obviously, images, and for that I'm going to go to Pexels. Now for this demo, I'm just going to, instead of searching barcode, I'm just going to search for actor. Okay, you can search for anything, obviously. If you're just doing this for fun or for a practice, there's so many images. Just type in what you're looking for. So I'm going to choose this guy here. So click and drag, drop it in. It'll take a minute or so because it's bringing in quite a big file. And again, you can see this is a big photo, so you might need to zoom out, which is Control and the minus key. Remember, the minus key zooms out, the plus key zooms in. And what you're going to find is, with your photos, it won't be the same aspect ratio as a piece of A4 paper. So if we look, if I make it fit the width, it doesn't quite fit the height, and if I make it fit the height, it goes over the width. Now this is a balancing act, and there's tools we can use. We're going to look at those in future lessons. For now, I'm just going to leave it like this. So I'm going to press Control 0, and you can see it doesn't quite fit, but there's a really clever trick I'm going to show you in a second for this. So what we're going to do with this image, we need to get this part here. So same technique we've used on the text. We're going to hold down Control and make a copy of this image. Now if we zoom that up to the top there, again it won't quite do what we need to, so we're going to have to do a bit of messing about with it. So with images you can use this tool here, which is called the crop tool. So click on the crop tool, and this time we do grab it in the middle. We're going to grab it from the bottom, and we're going to take this, in this case it's just above this guy's head. Okay, now you can see that's going to give us the right mix of grey as the background there, and if we line those up, you can see that I might need to put it down just a little bit. Okay, so look and get those lined up. So again, this is a bit of a do it by eye. It might help here to preview this, and again it's Control Shift W to preview. So the idea is that you can press preview and it will move it around. So if we look there now, I've got these two images. You can't actually see hardly any difference. I'm going to do that there. Okay, and then with this second one, because it's just sky and there's no real detail in it, I'm going to break my golden rule. I am actually going to stretch it. Okay, and now you can see we've managed to get the grey of the sky here to fill up the background. You might not want to use this technique. You might do it's just a real quick dirty way of being able to get an image to fit. If it's got people in it, it doesn't work, but if it's just got sky, it's a plain colour like this, it's a really quick and easy way. So as before, we're going to group these together. So we're going to click on the top image and the bottom image, hold down the Control key and tap G to group things together. And now we just need to obviously get this to the back, because all of our text is suddenly covered up by this picture here. So to do that, all we do is select our picture, right click, and go to Arrange and move to Back. And then all of a sudden, this starts to look like a magazine. Now, I know I've got issues with colour and things like that, and some of these things aren't quite in the right place. We're going to kind of look at those as we go forward. Now, I'm going to turn my grid back on, So again, it's back on there. And I don't like how this cover line cuts into his shoulder, so I'm just going to start by moving these things around. And again, this is where all your beautifully laid out design work may just need to change a little bit. So be flexible. When you're putting images in, the key thing is to be flexible. Other variations might work better than what you actually thought initially. So this is a case of don't be too precious about the design you've got. It's more important that everything flows and everything works around the imagery. So that's got that in there. I've moved these here so they're quite nicely laid out. A quick little tip here actually, if I click on one of these cover lines that I've got and I hold down the shift key and then click on the rest, they're not quite lined up very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little clever technique to line them up. So I've got all of them selected, and over here on the top right you've got this little thing that looks like a kind of bar chart. It's called alignment. If you click on that, you can align things horizontally or align them vertically. So you can align them so they line up at the top or the middle or the bottom. In this case we just want to go to the end one, which is space vertically. So if you click on that, what that does, it will then line these up so they're all spaced an identical distance apart. So if I make that a bit more obvious, so I'm going to really mess these up a little bit, like so. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to make this a bit more, so they're all over the place now. So I'm going to do the same technique, just to show you that, and so you can see it a bit more clearly. Shift and then click on each one of them. Go to this alignment tool. Now this time I'm going to align them horizontally left, and you can see already that I snapped them in all to the left. And then if I do that align vertically, space evenly, you can now see how that has nicely spaced those cover lines. Click apply, and that's done. So the next lesson is going to be looking at this a little bit more in detail and looking at then adding colour and sort of making this begin to really become our final magazine cover. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.